Familiar, you're familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hello students, so welcome back to this video again. Okay, in the previous videos, so we have discussed the various theorems under the DC circuit analysis, right? Starting from the Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem, and then maximum power transfer theorem, superposition theorem, right? And at the last reciprocity theorem, right? So now based on all those theorems, okay, let us discuss how to solve some given networks. Okay, so in this video, part number 15, so I am going to discuss some numerical problems on DC circuit analysis. Okay, so let me start with the simple problem first. Okay, that is, you just go through the problem. A voltage source having an open circuit voltage of 15 volts, okay, and an internal resistance 3 ohms is shown in the figure A. Figure is also given here. Then find the equivalent current source representation. Okay, so we discussed already in the beginning what is voltage source, what is current source also, right? So now the voltage source is given, you have to represent the same thing in terms of current source. That's it. Okay, the simple problem it is. Now consider the given data, that is the voltage source value is how much? 15 volts, and the internal resistance, source resistance is equal to how much? 3 ohms. Okay, it is connected normally in the voltage source in this manner. The terminals A and B are considered as now open terminals. Okay, in this open terminals, so we can expect the voltage source given as 15 volts and RS is equal to 3 ohms connected in series, right? Okay, so to represent it like this, now this is the equivalent current source. Okay, in case of voltage source we have the internal resistance in series, whereas if it is the same thing in a current source, okay, in case of current source the resistance should come in the parallel, okay, across the same terminals A and B. So we can say this is the equivalent current source representation for the voltage source, right? Now, okay, you can write down directly the diagram, equivalent current source diagram, but we need to mention what is the value of IS and what is the value of RS. Okay, so very simple it is. Say RS will not change. RS is equal to same resistance, you can write directly. 3 ohms resistance must be connected in parallel with the current source. But what is the value of that current source? So that will become equivalent to this 15 volts voltage source. So that means in the problem, after designing the circuit for representation, you have to find the value of IS. Okay, so you just find out the short circuit current. So that is the value of IS here. Okay, where is that short circuit current you have to measure, you know? So for this circuit across the terminals A and B, assume that suppose if A and B is short circuited directly without any load. Okay, if a resistance is connected, then you have to consider the current through that particular resistance. Now if you short circuited from A to B, so directly by applying the Ohm's law you can calculate the current. That current is called short circuit current. Okay, it is given by IS is equal to, so value of Vs divided by RS. That's it. So Vs by RS is equal to 15 by 33. So that is equal to current 5 amperes. Okay, that means once you represent the voltage source to current source, the value of IS must be how much? 5 amperes. The value is determined as now is equal to how much? 5 amperes. You have to show it in the diagram. Okay, 5 amperes current source must be connected in parallel with the same 3 ohm resistor. Then this will become equivalent to the voltage source. Is it okay? Okay, now go through the next problem. So please pause the video and note down the problem clearly first. Okay, so in this problem, an AC current source of 5 milliamperes and internal resistance is 2 kilo ohm, okay, is connected to a load consisting of 2 parallel branches here, that is 10 kilo ohms and 40 kilo ohms, as shown in the figure. Of course you can see in the figure. Okay, see, this is the current source with current 5 milliamperes and internal resistance is how much? 2 kilo ohms. Okay, and there are two resistors connected as load resistors here, so you can call it as RL1 and RL2, and the values are also given as 10 kilo ohms and 40 kilo ohms, right? Okay, then in this diagram, let us say determine the current through 40 kilo ohm branch. So particularly there are two branches as I said, so you have to find the current through 40 kilo ohms here. Okay. Then next it is asked to calculate, convert the given current source into an equivalent voltage source. Vs means voltage source here, right? Okay, now just first write down the what are the given data here. So Is is equal to 5 milliamperes, Rs is equal to 2 kilo ohms. Okay, voltage current source and so source current and source resistance you can say, right? So the load resistors are RL1 10 kilo ohms, RL2 equal to 20 kilo ohms. Clear? So to find the current through any branch, first of all it is asked to calculate through current 40 kilo ohms, right? So to find the current through any branch, first of all you should know what is the total resistance and total current drawn by the source itself. Okay, so in that way we can solve the problem here. So from the figure first you calculate the total load resistance here. Okay, so now RL1 and RL2 both are load resistors. How they are connected? They are connected in parallel to each other, right? So apply the formula to calculate the equivalent resistance for the parallel combination of two resistance. So RL is equal to RL1 parallel with RL2. So therefore RL1 into RL2 divided by RL1 plus RL2 formula. So that is 10 into 40 by 10 plus 40 is equal to, you will get calculation 8 kilo ohms as the equivalent resistance as total load resistance here. So therefore the current drawn by the load RL now, okay, so the total resistance RL is equal to how much? 8 kilo ohms. So total current drawn by this total load resistance 8 kilo ohms is given by formula Is into Rs. Okay, so we have to consider the total current obtained by the current source, and now these two resistance will become parallel to each other, right? So current drawn by the total resistance must be equal to Is into this internal resistance Rs divided by Rs plus this total RL. Okay, substitute now. Is is equal to 5 milliamperes. Okay, Rs is equal to 2 kilo, that is 2 in 10 power of 3. So milli means 10 power of minus 3, kilo is 10 power of 3. So divided by, both are in kilo, so 2 plus this 8, 2 plus 8 into 10 power of 3 is common. Okay, so simplify this and calculate. So that is 10 power of minus 3, 10 power of plus 3 cancelled, 5 into 2 is equal to 10, 8 plus 2 is also 10, can be cancelled here. So left with how much? Only 10 to the power of 3 in the denominator, you take it in the numerator, it will become 10 power of minus 3. So that means the value is 1 milliampere. 10 power of minus 3 means milli. So 1 milliamperes is the current that is called the current drawn by the total load RL. Okay, now it is easy for you to calculate the current through each branch. So which one we want? The current through 40 kilo ohms is required. Okay, so that load current IL is divides into IL1, IL2 through the two resistors, that is RL1 and RL2, right? So it is asked to calculate the current through 40 kilo ohms, 40 kilo ohms. So when you calculate the current through a particular branch, okay, so then parallel to this branch, which is another resistance load we have, that is RL1, okay. So when you calculate the current through this branch, you consider the other resistor as a multiplier to the total load current here, okay, because here the current is going to be divided into two branches, right? That IL is through IL1 and IL2. So consider the load current IL multiplied to this RL1, okay. When you calculate through RL2, multiply to RL1. When you calculate through RL1, then you have to multiply by RL2, like that it is. So IL into RL1, okay. So divided by, so total resistance in the denominator, that is RL1 plus RL2 in the loop, okay. So substitute now, 1 into 10 power of minus 3, that is RL1 actually it is, that is 10 into 10 power of 3 kilo ohms divided by 10 plus 40 in power of 3, so you will get 0.2 milliamperes as the current through 40 kilo ohms, okay. That is what asked here. Okay, next part is convert the given current source into its equivalent voltage source. How do you do it? So just this is the part of the current source, right? So you have to calculate the equivalent voltage first, then you can convert it to a equivalent current source, voltage source, right? So equivalent voltage to be calculated. So here open circuit terminal voltage to the given current source is given by the product of this Is into Rs, that's it. So what is Is into Rs? 5 into 10 power of minus 3 into 2 into 10 to the power of 3. So cancel this 10 power of 3 and 10 power of minus 3. So that you will get 5 into 2 is equal to 10 volts is the equivalent source voltage. Okay. So now write down that diagram. So the equivalent voltage source representation of the current source. So this is the current source and representation is Is actually 5 milliamperes, right? Rs is equal to 2 kilo ohms. So instead of connecting that resistor in parallel, now connect it in series with the voltage source. Okay. So Rs is equal to same 2 kilo ohms. Vs is connected now in series. So Vs value is this one, 10 volts. Okay. So this will become the equivalent representation for the given current source. Okay. But don't write like DC source here. Now because it is given AC, an AC current source it is. Okay. So that is why you should write the representation of AC source, AC voltage source particularly. Okay. Okay. Now take down the next problem. Using Thevenin's theorem, calculate the current through and voltage drop across the 10 ohm in the given network. Okay. So the given network is like this. So in which we have the 12 volts as the source voltage, and then different resistors are there here, of course, 4 ohms, 6 ohms, 3 ohms and 10 ohms. Okay, in the problem they clearly mentioned to calculate the voltage drop and current through 10 ohm resistor. Okay, so that means you have to understand the 10 ohm resistor in the network is the load resistor for you. Okay, you can consider this as RL. Okay, so next whenever you solve this network according to Thevenin's theorem, so we should know which is the load resistor first. Okay, we have to identify which is the load resistor. Okay, then you can proceed here. So in the solution part you write, how do you find the Thevenin's voltage? Because in order to design the Thevenin circuit, we should know the value of VTH and value of RTH, right? So first you find VTH as per the procedure. So first in the given network, identify which is the load resistor. So yes, this is the load resistor. Okay, so that you can remove that load resistor. As per the steps, remove the load resistor and mark the terminals as A and B. Open terminals as A and B. Across the terminals A and B, you have to measure the VTH, voltage across the terminals A and B. So remaining circuit should be as it is. Okay, just RL should be removed and measure the voltage across A and B, that is called VTH. That's it. Okay, so now look at the circuit. So now voltage drop across A and B is nothing but what? So you have to see circuit, whether the current is passing through the circuit up to terminal A and B. No, because the terminals A and B are open, we cannot expect the current passing through the 6 ohm. So there is no current passing through the 6 ohm resistor as the terminals A and B are open here. Okay, so no current passing through 6 ohm. So voltage drop across A and B is nothing but now voltage drop across the terminals C and D, that is across the 3 ohm resistor. Okay, so therefore you should write VTH is equal to VAB, or that is also equal to V across the terminal CD. Okay, so that is given by now. So source voltage is how much? 12 volts into that particular resistor 3, and in that loop we have the total resistance 4 plus 3. Okay, 4 plus 3. So write down that and then calculate. So 12 into 3 divided by 4 plus 3. So we will get the Thevenin's voltage is equal to 5.142 volts. Okay, check the calculation. Next, so proceed to calculate RTH. What is the procedure to calculate RTH? You should remove the source, isn't it? So just remove the voltage source and short circuit it in place of voltage source by considering internal resistance in series actually here, but we are assuming that internal resistance is equal to 0. Okay, then just short circuit directly. Then the resistors as it is 4, 6, 3 are there here across the same terminals A and B. Okay, so looking back into the circuit, you have to find out the equivalent resistance across A and B. So from the terminals A and B, you can see that 6 is in series, and in this closed loop 4 and 3 will be in parallel to each other. Therefore RTH is equal to 6 plus, okay, 6 plus because it is series with the parallel combination of 4, 3, isn't it? So 4 into 3 divided by 4 plus 3 for parallel combination of resistors. So calculate, you will get the value of RTH. Then proceed to find the voltage VL and IL. So voltage across the load, given load, and current through the load IL. In the Thevenin's equivalent circuit, so that means you have to design the Thevenin's equivalent circuit now. So this is the voltage source, Thevenin's equivalent voltage source. How much it is already calculated, right? So that is equal to 5.142 volts. RTH in series, isn't it? So that is a equivalent simplified Thevenin circuit. RTH value is calculated already. So 7.713 ohms. Okay. Then across the terminals A and B, load RL was removed. Okay. We should connect it back. Okay. So what is that load resistor value? 10 ohms. So it is across the terminals A and B. It is connected back. 10 ohm load resistor. Now we calculate the current through the load RL. So in the simple network it is by Ohm's law, just you can write the source voltage VTH divided by total resistance in the circuit is now just RTH plus RL, right? Substitute the value of VTH 5.142, RTH 7.713, okay, 13 it is, plus 10 volts, so that is equal to 0.27 amperes you will get. Okay, so that is the current through the load RL. So next you have to calculate VL, so voltage across the load. So it is given by product of IL into RL, that's it. So Ohm's law. So substitute the value of IL calculated just now, 0.287 into 10. Okay, RL is equal to 10. You will get nearly 2.87 volts as the voltage across the load. Okay, so that is what asked here in the problem. Okay, take down the next problem. Again using Thevenin's theorem, calculate the current through and voltage drop across now 5 ohms in the given network. Okay, now just to look at the given network. So we have the resistors 3, 4, 5 and 2 ohms here, right? With one voltage source, that is 10 volts. Okay, so now in the previous problem the resistor was here, okay, to calculate the current and voltage. That resistor is now this one, 5 ohms. The given 5 ohm is the load resistor for you. Okay, so how do you solve this problem? Again using Thevenin's network. Okay, so look at the solution part. Now to find VTH first, okay, as usual, first you find the VTH. So they are given 5 ohms is the load resistor. So what you will do to find VTH? You have to remove that 5 ohms resistor and mark the terminals A and B. Across that branch you have to mark the terminals A and B and then find the corresponding VTH. Okay, see here the 5 ohm is resistor is removed. Okay, the terminals A and B are marked and you are finding the VTH here across the terminals A and B. Okay, so here this is the 10 volts, 3, 4 and 2 are as it is. Okay, so VTH is equal to, now so VTH is equal to, due to the voltage source 10, so 10 volts you can multiply here with the resistor in parallel to the 10 VH, okay, 10 volts, that is how much it is. So 4 plus 2, isn't it? Total resistance we have to consider, 4 plus 2 in series it is, okay, 4 plus 2 divided by 4 plus 2 plus 3, okay, so that is equal to how much? 4 plus 2 is 6, so 10 into 6 divided by 6 plus 3 is equal to, you will get 6.66 volts. Okay, so then you find out the RTH. Okay, so across the same terminals A and B, so you have to find the RTH value. So what is the procedure? First you have to remove the 10 volt voltage source and short circuit it. Okay, after short circuiting, look at the circuit across the terminals A and B to calculate the equivalent resistance again. So across these terminals A and B, so we have the two resistors in parallel. So which are the two resistors? So 3 ohms is one resistor in the entire one side terminals, okay, across A and B, and other side we have 4 plus 2 in series, isn't it? 4 plus 2 is almost 6, okay. So 3 ohm resistor and this 6 ohm resistors are in parallel to each other. So therefore RTH is equal to, you should write 3 into 6 divided by 3 plus 6 is the equivalent value. So that is equal to 2 ohms you will get, correct? Then, so next step is to find VL and IL. So first you consider the Thevenin's equivalent circuit consisting of a Thevenin's voltage source and Thevenin's resistance in series. Okay, so value of RTH and VTH already determined. So take down that values here. VTH is equal to 6.66, RTH is equal to 2 ohms. Okay, and now across the terminals A and B you connect back the load resistor which was removed here. So 5 ohms, isn't it? That is removed here. Now connect it back here, 5 ohms resistor. Then you find the current through that RL. So IL is equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL. Correct? So as usual, so find out that 6.66 divided by 2 plus 5. Okay, so is equal to 0.951 amperes you will get after calculation. You can check that value, and then you calculate the VL also. So that is IL into RL, 0.951 into load resistance is how much? 5 ohms. Okay, multiply and you will get 4.755 volts as the voltage drop across the given load, 5 ohms. Okay, note down the next problem on Norton's theorem. So using Norton's theorem, calculate the current and voltage drop across 10 ohms in the given network. Okay, so as usual we have the resistors 4, 6, 3 and 10 ohms, and with the voltage source 12 volts. Okay, so now using Norton's theorem we have to find, okay, not according to Thevenin's, not according to Norton's theorem. How do you Nortonize the given network? Okay, so that the Nortonized network should consisting of only one current source in parallel with a single current, single resistance in parallel, isn't it? So that is called Nortonized circuit, correct? Okay, now proceed to find the Norton's current first. Okay, so Norton's current can be determined by short circuiting the load resistor, which is that load resistor here, 10 ohm, isn't it? So just remove that first. Okay, remove the 10 ohm load resistor and mark the terminals A and B and short the terminal directly from A to B. Okay, the shorting means just by connecting a wire without any resistance. Okay, so that short circuit part will give you the flow of current from the terminal A to B, that is called Norton's current. Okay, due to the same source and remaining resistors in the network. Okay, so now first you calculate the total resistance seen by the source this side. Okay, from this side you have to calculate looking back into the circuit like this. So calculate the total resistance seen from this voltage source side. So that is given by, so 4 ohms comes in series. Okay, and these two, because it is closed loop, right? So 3 into 6 divided by 3 plus 6 will give you the total equivalent circuit for this loop, right? So calculate that. So RT, total resistance, is equal to 4 plus 3 into 6 divided by 3 plus 6 parallel resistors. Okay, these two. So that gives actually 6 ohm resistance as the resistance seen by the voltage source side, RT. Okay, then calculate the total current by the source. Okay, so total current by the source is not the Norton's current. Okay, IT is equal to V by RT. So V is equal to 12 volts divided by corresponding RT. Okay, 12 by 6 is equal to 2 amperes. Then you can calculate the Norton's current IN. Okay, so that is calculated by according to current divider rule. Okay, so that is IT into, so the total current is calculated, you know, so that IT into multiply the parallel resistance it is. Okay, IN, which is the parallel resistance to this IN, so that is 3 ohms. Okay, so that is IT into 3 divided by the total resistance in that particular loop, so where IN is flowing. Okay, that is 3 plus 6. Clear? So IT into this 3 divided by 3 plus 6. Calculate. IT is equal to 2 amperes. 2 into 3 by 9 is equal to 0.66 amperes. Norton's current is calculated. So what is next? To calculate the Norton's resistance. Okay, so that method is same as in Thevenin's circuit also. So how do you find? Because both are Norton's resistance or Thevenin's resistance, both are actually equivalent resistance of the network looking back from the given terminals A and B. Okay, so from the terminals A and B, so you have consider the total network without source. So what you have to do with the source? Just you have to short circuit it. Okay, short circuit the source and find out the equivalent resistance for this. Now from this side, you know, this 6 comes in series, so 4 and 3 are in parallel, so therefore 6 plus 4 into 3 divided by 4 plus 3. Okay, calculate, you will get 7.714 ohms. That resistance is called now Norton's resistance. Okay, now to find the current through the load, that is 10 ohm, and voltage across 10 ohm. What we will do? So to find IL and VL, so design the Nortonized circuit consisting of a single constant current source IN in parallel with the Norton's resistance. Okay, so this part is called actually the Nortonized part of the circuit. Okay, and across the terminals A and B, you connect back that load resistor. Whatever may be that load resistor, you have to connect it back. Then, so proceed to calculate IL. So IL is equal to now current through the load RL. Okay, so that is equal to, so IN into RN divided by RN plus RL is the formula to calculate load current. Okay, so that is equal, because you know, as you calculate the current through IL, this particular resistor, so multiply the IN obtained from the source. Okay, in case of constant current sources, IN into this resistance you have to multiply, not this one. Okay, so opposite to this we have RN, so IN into RN divided by total resistance, that is RN plus RL in the denominator. So that is actually the method to calculate the current through any given load in a network consisting of current sources. Okay, substitute now. So that is IN is equal to 0.66 into 7.714 is the RN value, and calculate RN plus RL can be substituted here. The value is 7.74. So RL is equal to how much? It is 10. Okay, you have to take this value 10 ohms. Then you will get the load current as 0.287 amperes. Okay, then it is easy to calculate VL also. So voltage drop across the load is IL into RL, 0.287 this value into RL is equal to 10. So 2.87 volts is the voltage drop. Okay, look at the next problem. Find the maximum power for the circuit shown in the figure. Simple. Okay, actually in this problem we have to follow the Thevenin's method only. Okay, because so determination of maximum power is possible by knowing the value of VTH and RTH. Okay, so first what you have to do, find out the value of VTH and RTH as usual. Okay, so look at the circuit. So we have 36 volt source and 8 ohm resistance here, 5 ohms, and let us say even R is unknown for you. Okay, still we can find out what is the maximum power obtained across the resistance R here. Okay, with the help of the Thevenin's theorem. So how do you find the value of VTH? Okay, so if R is the load, you have to remove that load resistance and then measure the VTH across the same terminals PQ here. Okay, so first find out the current through the circuit. So now the circuit consisting of only two resistors with voltage source 36, isn't it? So you should write the equation for current as I is equal to 36 volt divided by, in that loop total resistance is 8 plus 5, so that is equal to, you will get the calculation 2.76 amperes, and then you calculate the Thevenin's voltage by Ohm's law, I into R, so that is equal to 2.76 into 5. Okay, so that 5 you have to consider now this resistor, because voltage drop across PQ means across 5 ohms only you have to find the voltage drop here, so that is why you have to multiply by 5. So that value will be equal to 13.8 volts as the Thevenin's voltage. Then similarly proceed to find RTH. Okay, so to find the RTH, so just short circuit the voltage source and then across the terminals PQ find out the equivalent resistance consisting of only two resistors. Now you can see that, so 8 ohms and 5 ohms resistors are in parallel, right? So 8 into 5 divided by 8 plus 5 is equal to, you will get 3.07 ohms. So once you know the value of VTH and RTH, we can draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit here. Okay, so to find the maximum transfer to the given load, so connect back that load here across the terminals PQ again, and then so Thevenin's circuit is here, VTH and RTH are connected in series. So write down the equation for PL maximum to the load. It is given by, in terms of VTH and RTH, so VTH square divided by 4 RTH. So value of VTH and RTH are just now determined here. Substitute these two values here, 13.8 volt square VTH value and RTH is equal to 3.07. Okay, so substitute and calculate, you will get the maximum power delivered to the load RL, 15.48 watts it is. Okay, now look at the next problem on superposition theorem. Okay, so using the superposition theorem, determine the voltage drop across and current through the resistor R3. Okay, they given particularly one resistor in the network. Through that resistance you have to find the current and the voltage drop. So as shown in the figure. Now you just look at the figure. So it has R1, R2, R3, you know. The values are also given 6 ohms, 3 ohms and 9 ohms. Okay, so two voltage sources are present in the network. So because in the superposition theorem, so there should be more than one voltage source, so that we can solve it with the help of superposition theorem, correct? So now there are voltage sources V1 equal to 10 volts and V2 equal to 20 volts, right? So now just follow the steps to find the voltage drop across R3 by individual sources as per the theorem. Okay, so in the step 1, what I am considering here is only the presence of V1, that is equal to 10 volts. Okay, whereas V2 is just short circuited. So remove the voltage source V2 and then short circuit in the same place. Okay, so that there is a continuity for the flow of current. Clear? Okay, now in this network you find out the voltage drop across R3. Okay, now in this circuit first you look at the network, so in which R2 and R3, okay, so R2 and R3 will be parallel to each other when it is shorted. Okay, so across these two terminals you can see that, so R2, R3 looks like parallel to each other, right? So for that R1 becomes series. Okay, so when R2 and R3 are parallel to each other, then what is the voltage drop across the R3? So voltage drop across R2 and R3 will be same in fact. Okay, so particularly we want to find the voltage drop across R3. So write down that voltage drop across R3 due to only voltage source V1, that is 10 volts. Okay, so for that what is the formula? Let it be V dash is equal to, so that is the given source V1 into, so parallel resistance between R2 and R3, equivalent resistance R2 parallel with R3 divided by, okay, total resistance in the network is R1 plus R2 parallel with R3. Okay, you know how to write the formula for R2 and R3, right? So R2 R3 parallel formula is, so R2 R3 divided by R2 plus R3. So write down that value. R2 R3 is 3 and 9. So 3 into 9 divided by 3 plus 9 divided by, so value of V1 is 10, value of R1 is equal to how much? 6. Okay, substituted here. And again R2 parallel with R3 means 3 into 9 divided by 3 plus 9. Clear? So now simplify this value, you will get the answer as 2.697 volts. So this is the voltage drop across, we can say R2 or across R3 or across the total combination also. So because whenever the resistors are parallel to each other, total voltage drop will be same across each resistor. Clear? So let it be equation 1. So here I written voltage drop across R2 and R3 is same. Now in the second step, so again you follow the same method by keeping the voltage source 20 volts. Okay, that is V2, you know. So V2 is equal to 20 volts now, and V1 is short circuited. Clear? So when V1 is short circuited, R1 and R3 will become parallel to each other. Okay, and then that parallel combination is in series with R2. Okay, so write down the voltage drop again across R3 due to now voltage source V2. So that is V double dash, let it be V double dash. So that is equal to, so V2 into parallel resistors are now R1 R3, right? So R1 parallel with R3 divided by, so in the denominator R2 plus R1 parallel with R3, that is total resistance. Okay, so is equal to, substitute the values of V2 20, R1 R3 by R1 plus R3. Here value of R2 is equal to how much? Value of R2 is 3 ohms. Okay, then R1 R3 values are 6 and 9, isn't it? So therefore 6 into 9 by 6 plus 9, here 6 into 9 by 6 plus 9. Okay, then simplify this value. So you must get 13.75 volts as the answer. So this 13.75 volts value is the voltage drop across the R3 again due to only the source V2 present when V1 is absent. Okay, so you are measuring that value separately in step 1 and step 2. Okay, then you go to the next step. See, now voltage drop across R1 and R3. So in this case R1 and R3 are parallel, so voltage drop will be same. In the step 3, adding equation 1 and 2. So you can just add the equations. That is the principle, superposition principle. Okay, you can just add the two voltage drops present due to individual sources. So that is V dash plus V double dash. Okay, So 2.697 plus 13.75 from equation 2. So after adding you will get 16.447 volts. 16.447 volts is the total voltage drop across the resistor R3 when both the sources are present. You have to understand in that way. When both the sources are present, so this is the total voltage drop across the resistor R3. Clear? And similarly, what is the current through that resistor R3 when both the sources are present? So already you calculated what is the voltage drop across that resistor due to both the sources, right? That is 16.447. So just by apply the Ohm's law, that voltage V is equal V divided by the corresponding resistor is R3. So you can just divide by 9. 16.447 divided by 9. Okay, you will get the current 1.827 amperes. So in that way, you can just apply the superposition theorem to calculate the voltage or current in a particular resistor in the entire network. Okay, so but one thing is there should be more than one voltage source to apply this theorem. Clear? Okay, now look at one more problem on reciprocity theorem. So just verification of reciprocity theorem in the following network. Okay, so verify the reciprocity theorem in the following network. Which is that following network, you know? So consisting of the resistors are 6 ohms, 2 ohms and 3 ohms. Okay, so in which voltage source is connected in one side branch, that is V equal to 10 volts. So current I is measured in this branch. Okay, so I is measured in this branch first. So if you replace the voltage source to other side, you can measure the current this side also. Okay, now you have to prove that either you measure the current this side by keeping the voltage source left side and interchange the voltage source with the branch of the current by swapping these two like this and measure the current also here. So both the current should be same. Okay, then only it verifies the reciprocity theorem, correct? So let us see that now with the help of these values. So in the step 1, first you find the value of RT and IT. What do you mean by RT and IT, you know? So the total resistance circuit and total current in the circuit. Okay, where I is considered as this particular branch current. Okay, so from this figure, given figure, first you find out the value of RT. So very simple it is. So from this side you will find the RT, no, from the source side always. So RT is equal to, so 6 ohm resistor is in series, whereas when it is short circuited like this, 3 and 2 are in parallel to each other, right? So you can write 6 plus 2 parallel with 3. So 6 plus 2 into 3 by 2 plus 3. Okay, 2 parallel to 3 gives 2 into 3 by 2 plus 3 is the equivalent resistance of 2 parallel resistors it is. So calculate the value, you will get RT is equal to 7.2 ohms. Okay, then you calculate the total current. So that is voltage source V divided by total resistance RT. So you can just substitute V is equal to 10 divided by 7.2. You will get the value of 1.388 amperes here. Okay, next calculate the branch current. So branch current formula is, so we are calculating I, you know, so this I should be multiplied to the parallel resistor here for this branch, which is that is 3 ohms. Okay, I into IT into 3. So total current IT into 3 divided by the total resistance in this particular loop. So that is 3 plus 2. Okay, 3 plus 2 should write here. Okay, total current in network into 3. Parallel to this is 3, you know. So IT into 3 divided by 3 plus 2. So substitute the value of IT, total current 1.388 into 3 divided by 3 plus 2 will give you the value 0.833 amperes. This is the branch current. So when the voltage source is present in the left hand side for you. Okay, now in the step 2 you just swap these two. After swapping, that means shifting the voltage source to the other side. Okay, see like this. Okay, branch current is now this side, voltage source is present here, same voltage source, that is 10 volts. Okay, now calculate again RT. So RT is equal to, now this 2 volts, 2 ohms will become series, 6 and 3 is in parallel now, right? So that is why RT is equal to 2 plus 6 into 3 divided by 6 plus 3, correct? So the total value will get 4 ohms now. Here RT was 7.2 ohms, now we get 4 ohms. Okay, so that is why even the total current also changes. IT is equal to, so this voltage source V divided by the corresponding RT. So that is 10 by 4, you will get 2.5 amperes. The branch current calculated as now IT into 3 divided by 6 plus 3. Okay, so IT is equal to how much? Just now calculated as 2.5 amperes into the value of 3 is here, common resistor 3 divided by, now in this loop we have the total resistance as 6 plus 3, 6 plus 3 out substitute. Okay, so that is equal to 0.833 amperes again. So in equation 1 also we got the branch current as 0.833 amperes, equation 1, and here also I is equal to 0.833 amperes, equation 2. So absolutely we can say equation 1 and equation 2 are same, hence reciprocity theorem is verified. Okay, so I think we have done enough problems in this video, so based on various networks on the DC circuit analysis. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.